users in terms of the body on methamphetamine, what it looks like in terms of short term, what it does in terms of increasing energy competence, blood pressure, those types of things, and what it decreases. The one thing I like about it is it talks about the brain on methamphetamine in terms of dopamine, and it uses a reference of a light bulb and how kind of methamphetamine kicks dopamine production into high gear, so it lights up. But what happens after a while, eventually the light bulb burns out, in terms of that production. And so it kind of helps people understand, how methamphetamine affects the brain using that light bulb analogy. And then also the impact on communities. There's a section in there that talks about that. Children at risk. I mean, that's my side. My soft side is that I'm so you of those of you that work in the DEC program, really helping these kids through this is very important. But methamphetamine puts children at risk, has a huge impact on communities in terms of crime, criminal behavior, identity theft, domestic violence, firearms, that type of thing. And then impact of meth on communities, just in terms of what the costs are. And when you say take a look at what the costs are on the reactive side versus how much we're putting in on the prevention side, it's going to be a really interesting analysis because it's a huge cost in terms of what it's costing our communities. And then I think at this point in the presentation, this is in the PowerPoint presentation also, but I think we all probably need a good laugh right now, so I'm gonna show a little public service message that'll do that for us.
Hey, son. So, you're turning 13, becoming a man. Your hormones are surging, starting to notice the girls. Maybe your body's doing some funny things. So, want to talk? Or we could talk about drugs.
Yeah, let's talk about drugs.
Yeah. Visit our website, Drug Fight.
It works. I tried it on my son. It works. No, so it's it is good. And I think that's one of the things is that there is power in prevention. Even though our kids are saying that they're using substances, to feel good and to get high, some of the reasons why they're using also is stress. So we have to be talking to our parents about talking with their kids about stress. We have to be talking to our parents about vaping, that now, not vaping nicotine, not vaping THC, and now, not vaping, methamphetamine, but not vaping anything. Because unfortunately, 57% of our teens say their parents haven't talked with them about ways to turn down substances. So I always tell people, just like their times tables, just like you would sit there and you would go through 2 times 4 is 8. I usually do 2 times 2 because that's the easy one for me. But just like they would know their times tables, you got to go through all that with them. So when they're asked, do you want to drink, do you want to smoke, do you want to vape, do you want to hit, what's their response going to be? They need to have that ready. They need to have that ready to go. And also, there's no in the PowerPoint presentation, I'm not doing it in here, but I always tell parents, we have a whole slide of resistance strategies. And it's everything from avoid, say no, choose an alternative, whatever, because there's no one fit for every single kid, right? Because mine is a jokester, and so he'd say, no, my mom has a drug sniffing dog, so he would make a joke about it. And, it's those different types of things. So we have to think about our kids and their personalities because they may not be the kid that could say no. They may be a kid that is an avoider. And parents are wondering, why are you home all the time? Why are you never out with your friends? Or, why did you ever go to a party? Well, sometimes our kids that are avoiders do that sometimes because they're like, I don't even want to be in the situation. So as parents, we kind of have to be aware of that and know that, what's the personality of our child and really talking with them about these different substances. And then the last part of the presentation goes into intervention and treatment, intervening at the right time. And then also, there are a lot of myths. Those of you that work in treatment of methamphetamine, there is a lot of myths regarding methamphetamine use disorder and the treatment of it. A lot of times people thought that, you can, all these sort of stereotypical myths of you can really stop if you want to and all of that. But I really think this was one of the biggest myths is that treatment won't work and that methamphetamine use disorder is hopeless and untreatable. It is treatable and people recover every day. even those that have, co-occurring issues with mental health and methamphetamine use disorder. They recover every day and get treatment and get well. So we really want to have a message of hope and promise for people that they can, when there's an intervention, they can be treated successfully. Now there are challenges, as most of you know. One of the biggest challenges that we're facing in Arizona is just getting people some sleep before they actually go into a treatment cycle. But these are some of the challenges. They need good nutrition. Most of the time they haven't had a good diet, they haven't slept, and they just need to feel safe. They need to feel safe, they need a good meal, and they need some good nutrition. Again, they may be highly agitated, may only have a short attention span. That's some of the challenges in meth treatment. Also, co-occurring, of course, and then they may need significant mental or medical help as well. And then healing damage to the brain. So in the presentation, it does talk about how methamphetamine can damage the brain. It does. The brain research does say that the dopamine production is significantly reduced, but full recovery can happen. It usually takes about 2 years. That's typically what's found in studies. And then the key ingredient, of course, is just time and abstinence from the substance. So in closing, and again, there's some other public service messages that are in there, but really the takeaway here, and this is at the end of the presentation, is to educate, talk, monitor, and communicate. We want people speaking out about this. One of the references that I use, because oftentimes if you do this presentation, and again, you can put whatever you have from San Diego, but if you don't have some information for people that maybe know or suspect their child may be using, it's a good resource. It's the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids. Drugfree.org is the website. But again, if you have your own, you can put it in here. They just have they have like continuing, after recovery, self-care, different types of treatment, navigating the treatment system. There are ebooks in there, questions to ask if you're seeking treatment, because let's be honest, it can be complicated sometimes for folks and a little bit overwhelming. So that's a good resource that you can use. It's in the PowerPoint also, but again, you can localize it. If you've got a great resource, please do use that. This is not in the PowerPoint. This is just my resource. This is Arizona HIDA. So please feel free. All of the presentations, so the meth toolkit, so that actually meth toolkit was evaluated and studied from 2007 to 2010. So it was by the Partnership for Drug-Free America. And so what I did is I just built off of that. So it isn't evidence-informed, evidence-based. So just know that everything on this that I'm providing with you today has gone through a process of review and evaluation. So also on the Arizona HIDA website, you guys can take anything you want. There's e-cigarettes, there's methamphetamine information on there, there's opioids. We break it down into counties, so we have different things on concentrates, because we're doing a lot of work around concentrates now. So please feel free, you can check out that website and you can download anything you want there. Again, it's free of charge. Also, the methamphetamine, the PowerPoint, the toolkit, it is all on the website also. So you can download it there. There are classroom activities and there are opioid pieces on there as well. So you can take a look at that. And then I did see just yesterday when I looked, 3 days ago, I guess LA County announced a new campaign. Has anybody seen it yet? No, so it's called Meth Free LA County. And so, bless you. Uh-oh. No. But they have it in English and Spanish. So it's they have a couple of videos down here. But again, it's the idea that you can successfully recover from treatment, and then this is more of a prevention message about, people come to LA to seek their dreams, and so don't let meth steal your dreams. So that's from LA County, so I just found that, so I thought that was pretty good too. But those are my references in terms of all the data in there, and then this is my contact information.